Hey everybody, it's Anna J. Wallner with the Bookish Nook on the Author Library Network in partnership with Creative Edge Publicity. And with me today, I have JP McLean. JP, would you like to introduce yourself?
Thank you very much, Anna. It's such a pleasure to be here and to meet you finally.
Yes.
Yes, so my name is JP. The J stands for Joanne, which has a pesky little hyphen in it, so I use JP for my author name. And I write full time. I write fantasy, supernatural, thriller books, and I have one series out and a new book about to release. And I live on a tiny little island off the west coast of Canada where it rains a lot in the wintertime.
We were just talking about that. Yeah, guys, so Bloodmark, what you see behind you is we're recording on the 18th, and tomorrow is the release date, which will be by the time you see this today. Because this will air tomorrow. So happy release day in
Thank
advance.
you. Thank you. It's so exciting because there's this huge build that goes for months and months and months until
I know.
this day. And it's like,
Right.
yeah, very
Well,
exciting.
you mentioned that you have written other books. The Gift Legacy series, guys, is the series that she's talking about, as well as the newest release, like I said, which will be coming out today. And the cover, immediately screams, "Read me!" I mean, this is like, would you consider this a spooky time kind of a book? Does it have kind of that
Yes,
vibe to
it's dark. It's
it?
got some really
Okay.
dark, twisty parts to it. That's
Well,
for
I like
sure.
it.
Absolutely. Yeah,
I
I can
like
tell
it.
you a little bit about it if you like.
I would love to. I would love to
Okay.
hear about it.
So Bloodmark is Jane Walker's story. It tells her story. And Jane Walker was born with three strikes against her. First of all, she was abandoned at birth. And secondly, she is covered in red, a string of red or chain of red birthmarks that snake around her body. And the third thing is that she has these debilitating dreams at night where she dreams of things that happened in the past, and they're usually not good things that she dreams about. So they're nightmarish. And so the good things that she has going for her is she has a very fierce friend in Sadie Prescott, and Sadie's an interesting character. They both grew up on the streets, so they're tough women, and they fight with knives, and they know how to defend themselves, and they know how to avoid fights most often. But they're fearsome. And then she meets a man who finally sees past her birthmarks, the first man who's ever seen past her birthmarks. So she's thinking everything's just swimmingly fine. Um, and to top it off, one of her birthmarks disappears, the end of the chain of the birthmark. And so she's elated. She thinks life is looking good for me until she learns that there is a killer stalking her. And the only thing protecting her from him are these birthmarks that are starting to disappear.
I am absolutely intrigued. So I I'm guessing I'm guessing that there are definitely some thriller elements in the book, as well as the fantasy aspect of the dreams and the birthmark. So, is that, am I pretty close?
Hang on. I call it a supernatural thriller. And it's very fast paced, and that's the thriller part of it. It goes very quickly, and there's
That's what I was gonna say. It seems like one of those reads that once you pick it up, it's impossible to put down. Like it just flies by because you're so invested in the fast-paced narrative of the characters and the plot itself, how it moves along.
yeah, and that's my goal is to make it move along. I don't want people to put it down. I want them to miss
Right.
their bus stop. I want them to stay up all night. Sadly, though, then they'll say, "Where's the next one?" And that's not
I
ready yet.
know. Well, you've already answered my question. I was gonna say, now that you have finished the Gift Legacy series, would this is this the start of a new series? And you just confirmed it. It is. I'm so
It
excited to hear
is.
that.
It
And I
is.
bet really,
I actually think there might be There might be two more books in the series, but there's one for sure. And I've I've got it outlined. I started writing it yesterday. Yesterday, I started. It was so exciting to get back into writing. It's been long plotting it out, but right, it just reminds you how much you love writing when you get back into a new project.
And you miss the characters too, I'm sure.
Hmm. Oh yeah, Jane especially. And Jane was actually first. Her first name was Joyce. She was named in the hospital after she'd been abandoned. But when she found out that she was named after the train station where she'd been found, she decided she'd rather be known by Jane, which was her first name, Baby Jane Doe. So
Right?
that's why she goes by Jane.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, it's instantly, guys, go check the book out. Just the synopsis, the plot, the blurb itself is the kind of thing that will immediately draw you in and make you curious about this book. For me, for sure. So it's fantasy and also a thriller, but which was the most fun part for you to write? The fantasy element or the thriller part of it, the fast-paced stuff, or getting to create this whole part of the tattoos, or not tattoos, but the birthmarks and what they mean and what they lead to, and the vivid lucid dreaming.
Mm. My favorite part of writing is usually dialogue. I love putting words in the characters' mouths. That's my favorite part. This one has a very intense fight scene that was
Ooh,
great. That was such fun to write. I really enjoyed writing that fight scene. And otherwise, I
imagine.
must say I enjoyed writing Sadie because Sadie's got a bit of a twist to her, which is not a big giveaway. You learn it in the first chapter. She has a job, but she's a hooker on the side because she gets quite a
Oh,
bit of cooking and she doesn't do
hey,
anything else. So she was fun to write.
I can
Still
imagine.
fun to
I,
write. So.
I love those colorful characters. It doesn't matter, if they're a little on the fringe or if they're a little different or if they're a little wild. That they make for the most compelling characters and the ones that you can't wait to read about. So that just makes her all the more endearing,
Oh, I
learning.
agree.
So yeah, no, so I wanted to say, or I wanted to ask, do you have any advice for other aspiring out there, no, aspiring authors out there? Sometimes I talk too fast. Things that you have learned in your journey that you would be so grateful as to share with the rest of us.
Oh, yeah. The one thing that I like to tell people who are thinking about writing is just start writing. Don't think that you're going to have necessarily the big idea for the big book all
Right.
at once. You may not have that big idea. So just start with the little idea that you have, even if it's one scene. That's how I started my Gift Legacy books. The very first book that it turned out to be Secret Sky started with one scene. And I didn't think I'd have an idea big enough for a book. I really didn't. I was just passing the time, playing with words, enjoying the process, and the story just kept building out both sides of that scene that I wrote, and eventually I had a book, and then I had seven. There's seven books in that series, and yeah, as I got along in the process, I did more outlining. But that
Right.
first book was total pantster, total organic, and it turned out to be quite an entertaining book. So that's what I would say. Just sit down and write. Enjoy it.
Yeah. It really is, and it sounds so simple. It really does, like, yeah, oh, that's, what that's not any great advice. Well, it really is, because just that can be one of the biggest roadblocks that a lot of people have, is that they have this idea and they say, but it's not going to be good. So before the story even starts, they're already abandoning the idea before they put pen to paper or fingers to keys. And the whole idea is that, the story, I feel like, came to you for a reason,
Mhm.
and it's yours to write. And it just makes me sad to think of so many people, so many stories untold that are out there that people never wrote. And I was in the same boat. I was in the same boat. For years, I would write things and then I would just toss them aside. And I would never do anything with them. And then one day I was just like, if you're going to wait and continue to wait and continue to wait until it's the right time or the perfect time or the perfect idea or the perfect story, you're never going to do anything. So why don't you just do it? I mean, I literally kicked my own butt into writing.
And the thing that I was so pleased about with that whole process is how much I enjoy it. Like it's my reward now. I will
Yeah.
make myself clean the house so that I can have the 3 hour reward of writing because I
Oh my
enjoy
God,
it
so true.
that much.
So true. I mean, it is. And I bet you look back and you're like, God, I have come so far from when I first had to,
Yeah.
you know, get over that fear of getting onto this this
Yeah.
this momentum of being an author. And
I never thought I'd be sitting here,
right.
author of 8 books,
I
and
know, right?
who is this woman? I don't know.
I know. No, it's one of those things that you're like that you're, I sit back and say to myself, like, oh my God, I actually have this title, people next to dash author. And but it is attainable, it is achievable. So don't let anybody say that that it can't be done because we're living proof. You're living proof. Seven books in the series, and then the newest release today, guys. Go pick it up. A great Halloween spooky read, and I will have all of JP's um, uh, information in the description below. So make sure that you check that out and go check out Bloodmark.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for coming on the show, and it was amazing to finally get to sit down and talk with you.
I agree. Lovely to meet you as well. It's been
Uh,
fun.
Let me know whenever the next book is on the way and it's a date. We are good to go. So
I will.
everybody, thank you so much for coming to take time out of your day to learn about JP's new book, Bloodmark, which you have to pick up. You have to. And if you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe to the channel so that you just don't miss out on great upcoming content. Thank you again. And everybody else, stay safe, stay healthy, and we will see you again soon.
Bye
Bye.
now.